It's another video from Ozzy's Robot. Brought to you by the Banana Collection. Boop-a-doodly-doo, bom-bom, bom-bom-bom. Hey everyone, welcome back. Hey, come on in. It's that time of the day, the greatest time where you see some amazing tin toys from post-war Japan, especially when they're robots. And today, my friends, I have not one but two, yes, count them, two Mr. Atomics. However, one is finally something that I've long lusted after but have never been able to acquire, and that's an original blue Mr. Atomic robot by Yonezawa. And standing next to Mr. Blue original Yonezawa Atomic Mr. Atomic Robot is the reproduction version. I think this blue one is by MTH, but I'm not 100% sure. But as always, before we get rolling, kick back in your most comfortable chair, grab that steaming, delicious, hot cup of coffee. I only have water because it's 2 o'clock in the freaking afternoon. And I didn't have lunch, and I'm starving. So hopefully I can get through this because my wife's probably like, dude, get me out of this place. I want to go eat. But you know, I have a new feature of the channel for videos because I was given these robot riddles a long time ago. And I said, you know what? We're going to have a robot riddle, at least 60 of them. So the next 60 toy videos will feature a riddle. And this riddle is, I am white when I'm dirty and black when I'm clean. What am I? How many seconds should I give you? I'll give you about 10 seconds to ponder that riddle while you're grabbing your steaming, delicious cup of coffee and snack and focusing. And the answer is a blackboard. So there you go. Riddle number 1 done. Now let me make sure I put them in the back of the pack. Now, how many of you got that right? Maybe nobody. So anyway, if you watched my live stream, which was a couple of days ago, which, I don't know. Christy, can you hear me back there? Blow me off. She's too hungry. Let's see. Today is, I think, the 12th. Anyway, if you look at my last live stream, it's the first one I've done since January. I unboxed this and a couple of other toys. My premier items from the milestone auction, and this was one of them I really had my eyes on. So when I unpacked this, I looked and I said, my God, there's like some major differences here. First of all, the blue, it's pretty obvious. This has that beautiful tealish shade, which is much more appealing than this more like primary blue. But it also, believe it or not, looks a little taller besides everything else. Let me see if I can get this. See how that belt is sitting lower on there? So I've never had these side by side. Now, I don't know if Osaka's version, I do have the silver Osaka version. Maybe that one sits a little differently. I suppose I could have bought the Osaka. Let me straighten this out. But I didn't for whatever reason. Now, when I got this, it didn't work at all. And I'm pretty proud of myself because, you know, through perseverance alone, I was able to spin the gears. And it took a while. I have a feeling this is the first time this has been run in like forever. And I'm kind of glad it's not going off the table. So I did my tappa. There was no lights. There was nothing. And mainly after a few taps, the light came on. And then when I saw that I had power, I decided to spin the gear gently, the bump and go or the mystery action gear. And after a few spins, you know, it was hanging up a little bit. It came to life. I was so happy. I said, you know, it's nice not to have to open these things up. Because honestly, it doesn't look like this was open. And these probably would show a lot of the bending, you know, because of all these trim pieces that are on there. If you start messing with them. I'm kind of giving time for that mucked up grease to loosen up. So I believe Mr. Atomic was 1963, so he's 62 years old. God bless him. All right, that's enough of that. Working better and better and better. Let's get these batteries out. And then we're going to look at the differences between the two. And I did get the original box, but decided not to open it because it's going to Anthony Restorations for some restoration. And then maybe one day I'll show them together. All right, here is the, well, you know what? Let's put the batteries in this. For all I know, this one won't work. You know, that'll be my luck. But we'll see, we will see. So I don't hear a squeaker at all. It works about as slow as the other one. Kind of check out the light panel a little better. Yeah, honestly, it works about as slow as it. Maybe this is as slow as they work. I thought my other one worked a little quicker, my silver one. Let me pause this video for a sec. Well, through the mystery of video, the magic of pausing, I got the silver one. I said, you know what, let's compare all three. So now we're going to look at the size. I'm going to go down. So this is Osaka Tin Toy, original Osaka, and MTH. And you know what? It's still sitting a little lower. Let's get them all lined up here. And let me pull this down again. You see how that belt is hanging a little lower? So, interesting, right? I'm going to pull the batteries off of this one. I think I'm understanding this correctly. This was the MTH. Let's go in here and put the batteries in. Yep. If you want proof, here's your proof. Osaka Tin Toy logo in there, so that confirms that. So for the hell of it, let's see how this Osaka works. If it works at all. No beeping. A much better bump and go. Much better feed action too. Nope, not letting you hit the camera. So we know that it doesn't have the squeakers in them. And we know the original has a squeaker. All right, so let's look at the sides. So the MTH does not have the Yonezawa logo, which you can see here, the Yonezawa. And Osaka did put the Yonezawa logo. Other differences. The coil, if you look at this coil, has a lot more red in it. The coil here is very faint, the red, and over here it's much more, well, let me back out so you can see. Let's keep the original one in the middle. Maybe that might make it easier. Let's move this here. Let's move this here. Move it here. So you see the coil here, the red is much more pronounced. I'll bring it up close so you can see. See what I'm talking about here, the red? Over here, you do not have that at all. It's a very, very faint line of red. Dials, look fairly close. The buttons here and the atom symbol, this one is gray here. This one has more of a blue shade. This one is kind of in between. So it's pretty close. Again, the red on all this coil, you have a lot more red in the reproductions than you do in the original. Let's go to the, well, let's look inside the panels here. I think the panels, they did a really good job kind of replicating it. Very subtle nuances. This has, again, the teal color, a light teal. This is more of a just a light blue and a light blue. You can see the yellowing just from age of the original dome here. And same with the earpieces. Again, this is clearly an original. The arms, you can see the difference in the shade of blue. This is a light blue, kind of a teal, and this is more of a primary blue. Let's go in the back. So even the yellow on the feet, if you compare the two, this is has more orange in the feet instead of a bright yellow. The vents may not come up on camera. So the vents here on the MTH, very thin. Over here, they're thicker and darker. Over here, they're thicker, but they're like a lighter gray. So that's a little bit of a difference. I'm not going to go through every single, difference in detail, but some of the more pronounced that stick out. And again, the height is surprising to me. Even this red's like a little deeper, more rich, kind of orangey red. This is kind of a brighter red. The same with the ring here. This ring here on the Osaka looks almost pinkish. Let's see. Other than that, I'm looking. The back, obviously, this has blue inside. If you were to look at them close, it's clearly different. You can see this one here has more gray. This is more blue. The battery box, this is kind of the same. Let's look at the original. Osaka, we already showed you. The silver's a little more muted in this, maybe through just aging. And of course, you have the residue of the foam there. Man, this teal, this is a beautiful, I can't believe I've never had this blue before. On the side, do they all have Cragston? So, no, that's funny. Like, Osaka puts the Yonezawa logo, MTH doesn't. But MTH puts the Cragston logo, and Osaka puts the Tin Age logo. And, of course, the original has both the Yonezawa and the Cragston logo. And the red, which may not come out on the camera as well. The red on the belt's a little different. And the segments look a little tighter on the original versus the MTH. They're a little closer on this. So that's pretty much your little differences, your nuances, if you will, of your now 3 Mr. Atomic robots, original versus reproduction. And I like to do this once in a while because, people sometimes have absolutely no idea how to tell them apart. So I hope this was helpful. If it is, there's 2 things you can do for me. You can thumb up the video, number 1, and you could leave a remark, and then actually 3 things. The most important, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Believe it or not, I think our ratio is like 6% subscribed and 94% not subscribed of the viewers. So hopefully that will change. At any rate, this concludes your look at Mr. Atomic's 3, 1 from Osaka, 1 from MTH, and 1 from the original Yonezawa company. That's it. I appreciate your time. If you made it this far, thank you. And I will talk to you later.